Hey there, it's meteorologist Jamie Singleton. Here's your evening weather map discussion for Friday, May the 8th, 2020. And we've got rain, mainly light rain, not a lot of moisture involved in this system because we really don't have winds coming in out of the south. This is coming in more out of the west, southwest, but still able to bring some lift, and that's able to crank out some rain. I've got a different color enhancement on here just to give you a different view every now and then. I like to mix things up. But you can see, speaking of mix here, that our precipitation is changing over to snow already. And we expected that for the afternoon hours of Friday through the upstate New York here, going into Pittsburgh. It's right on the edge, just north of Pittsburgh. Looks like we've got a pretty good band there near Wellsville, Ithaca, and Elmira, and Wellsboro here. So north of State College, too, some snow mixing in. If I take off the clouds for a second, you can see the lines right through there. And just a smattering, if you will, of maybe some bright banding where we've got snowflakes aloft here. Not a lot of, again, deep moisture to provide the serious rains that we had seen with previous systems. This is just shower and thunderstorm activity. And then you've got your cold air cumulus, something that you normally see in the winter. And as you would expect with a cold air mass moving in, you get those type clouds as we go behind the cold front there. And then your severe weather here, an explosion of storms. Look at this on the satellite picture here. Very impressive. A couple of tornado warnings out in southern Louisiana. So some severe weather there. And if we check out the actual air temperatures, you can see that we do have temperatures that go from the 70s along the eastern North Carolina coast, Outer Banks here. Hatteras at 71 to 54 Roanoke, and 38 in Morgantown, West Virginia, and it gets even colder beyond that. So the cold air mass is coming in where we'll modify that over the next couple of days. We're going to get back into the 50s and 60s, but that's still way below normal of 76. And as I mentioned yesterday, don't forget the heat is on across southern Texas out toward Southern California here in the Phoenix area, with temperatures have been at record high levels. Things balance out in weather sometimes. Imagine that. Okay, our upper level map still shows our fidget spinner here. This is a piece of the polar vortex that has made its way south, and then you've got this huge ridge that helped break that off and send it south. Let's go through time here, and I've got to be kind of fast. I've got to get over to the Harvester and finish setting up for our concert tonight that we're going to do streaming wise. But you can see that after this weekend, after a couple of cold nights, tonight will be near freezing in a lot of locations. Mother's Day morning, below freezing, probably. Then you're looking at this ridge out here that continues, and another area of energy rotating around here coming up. And I mentioned this, it's coming in stronger with each run. Still looks very impressive to me for Monday. Could see a few rain showers ending as periods of snow, especially in the Greenbrier Valley of West Virginia, and a lot of wind again on Monday. It's also going to be windy for the area tomorrow for Saturday, and even tonight as the front moves through. The next front coming through again Monday, you saw it there. Here comes Tuesday and Wednesday, and our heights start to rise. We even go just a touch above normal here in terms of height at 500 millibars, and this is actually a warm pattern if it verifies. It is the Euro, so we've got a good chance of that happening. A little concerned that I still see some ridging here in Greenland, but hopefully things will begin to flatten out as the Pacific begins to rearrange itself here, and that it's allowing for more of a zonal flow across the lower 48 with a trough even down here across Baja California, and some ridging coming in, and some models suggesting 80s coming up for a good part of the area through the mid-Atlantic and the south coming up by this time next week. So maybe some light at the end of the tunnel. Here's how it looks on your weather maps. You got the front coming through now. Again, the moisture changing over to some heavy snowfall in interior northeast and the severe weather to the south. As we go into early Saturday, looks like the moisture is going to clear out a bit faster because it's not as impressive as it looked not too long ago here across the Old Dominion. But if you get north here where that surface low develops there off of Cape Cod, that is going to be a recipe for some fairly heavy snowfall amounts for this time of the year anyway. And then you've got some lingering moisture in the mountains of Virginia, West Virginia. As close by as Pulaski and Radford, we could be seeing some snow flurries and snow squalls and snow showers, even some accumulating snow right up against the Greenbrier Valley there in Pocahontas County and Greenbrier County. Now, Saturday afternoon looks nice other than the wind. It'll be sunny out there. And then Saturday night, the bottom's going to fall out again on the temperatures as high pressure's overhead. And then as early as Sunday evening, our next front begins to approach. So Mother's Day is going to be cold to start, warming up fast in the afternoon, but still below normal, and then some showers possible for Sunday night going into early Monday. The WPC is bringing us front through a little bit quicker, which makes a little bit of sense to me here. Now going into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, high pressure is back in control. So the big key on this is that our moisture seems to have now gone west a bit, back across the Mississippi River region and the Midwest area. So that may be something that could be good for all you folks trying to cut hay in the east and the south. Looks a bit more unsettled the farther west you go as that moisture retrogrades with time in our pattern here. Temperatures are again going to be very, very cool. These are Virginia temperatures, but I wanted to give you an idea of what's going on in West Virginia. So if we go through time here, and this is looking at what's happening this afternoon, for Friday afternoon going into tonight, temperatures get right at freezing for Roanoke and areas west of the mountains here, going into Blacksburg and Wytheville, Beckley, Bluefield, even some 20s showing up through West Virginia. And that's tonight. That'll be with wind. I think anywhere across the area in Virginia here that I cover, you need to bring those plants inside and cover them up with some plastic or some buckets, 5-gallon buckets as well. Saturday itself, not much of a warm up there, maybe up to about 50 to 55 east, but that may be pushing it. Temperatures may be stuck in the 40s and 30s all day in the mountains. And then for Mother's Day afternoon, after a very cold start with temperatures in the 20s and 30s, way below freezing, some heavy frost and freeze expected Sunday morning. We warm back up into the lower 60s east in the Richmond and even in the Carolinas here coming up for Mother's Day itself. But that second front, or the third front rather, for Monday promises more cool air. And this is 2 p.m. Monday, 7 p.m. Monday. So not much of a warm up Monday either, as temperatures are only in the lower 50s at best. As we go into Tuesday, it is looking much the same. Temperatures maybe upper 40s to lower 50s, and that would be about it. Now, the Weather Prediction Center has this snowfall map up. You can see that interior Maine here gets between 7 and 8 inches of snow. In the bright colors, that is truly amazing. And several areas have 1 to 3 inches to up to 4 inches here, locally up to 5 in New Hampshire and Vermont here, looking at that. But it's probably going to be elevation dependent, and it is going to stick mainly to the grass, although I mean it's very cold aloft, and when it snows heavy enough, that'll bring that cold air down. I wanted to show you the West Virginia region too as we go through time on the National Weather Service forecast, the individual offices that put this out, and our totals here are a bit lower, but we still have 4 to 7 inch amounts through Maine, and some isolated amounts over 4 inches, but mainly just 1 to 3 here of a clumpy wet snow through a good part of upstate New York around Albany there. You see some blues there as well. And through Pennsylvania even here, you know, in the Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, you got temperatures cold enough for 1 to 2 inches of snow in spots, and then generally an inch or less through the is what the Weather Service is going in the West Virginia. Some locations on the mountain peaks may pick up a few inches of snow, but that would be moving through in that area through late tonight, going into tonight actually, and into the early Saturday morning hour. Okay, so here's the rain on the computer model. Again, it didn't amount to much for many areas. The snow changes over again, as you see here on the NAM, and look how quickly the snow showers die out, although there will be some remaining snow squalls. Then it's a mainly dry forecast, despite the cold temperatures in the morning for Sunday. Here comes our Monday front, and the timing is faster, as you see here on the NAM. That's why the WPC went faster. By 10 p.m. on Sunday, we've got showers in West Virginia approaching the far western mountains of Virginia here, continuing into the early morning hours of Monday. So a little bit wet in some locations with that, but mainly just a reinforcing shot of cool weather. We're going to have a lot of wind too. I've been talking about that, just under advisory criteria, but still enough here. Let's get this moved over some, but you can see that as we go through the night tonight, winds will be out of the southwest at up to 30 miles per hour in some locations, and then we start to shift back out of the northwest here. And these brighter colors are where wind gusts could be around 40 miles per hour, but that's expected to be on the ridge tops only. The valleys will be more like 20 to 25 miles per hour tonight, maybe up to 30. Same story for Saturday, northwest winds at maybe 10 to 25 miles per hour, gusting at times to 25 to 35. I don't know if we'll see much 40 plus wind gusts because we just don't have that in the lower level jet to worry about. Now beyond that, we are going to be watching a pattern shift, and we'll use the GFS because it seems to be just as good on this compared to the Euro. So I was just going to show it to you with these colors. I like to mix up my color palettes, as I mentioned. There's the piece of the polar vortex for Saturday. Sunday, the flow flattens a bit. That's why we're going to warm up in the afternoon. Plus, we got that high pressure overhead. Here's our second short wave and the second or third front moving through here Sunday night into early Monday. But that quickly is progressive. So it moves off to the east. New area of cool weather comes in for Tuesday with this air mass. That's a high pressure system. It's a cool air mass. And then as you go into Wednesday and Thursday, finally, the ridge axis is still west across Kentucky and Tennessee, but we're going to start to see a return flow here as that high moves east, and temperatures will be rebounding nicely, perhaps up to near normal levels, and then maybe even above normal levels here coming up for Thursday and Friday, May 15th and the Saturday, May the 16th. And the GFS wants to do something. It's been always doing this in the springtime, wanting to develop something tropical. We'll see. If fronts die out and you get a ridge that, you know, builds in overhead, wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. But the main point of this map is to show you how we go from this and we flip it around to this. And so it does look a little bit better in terms of the light at the end of the tunnel and the warm weather on the way. I'd say after Wednesday, maybe starting on Wednesday of next week for a lot of the south and in the east. Have a good night.